Alright, so I have finished going through these journals about Harold, from his own perspective, getting his story from, I would say his own mouth, but his own pen hand. Um, it gives me a really good view of who he was as a person. While it obviously doesn't cover his whole life, it covers a lot. Like I said before, that nun, Sister Helena, really pushed him to write as much down as possible. It seems like she was a big proponent of documenting these things for posterity. Uh, Reading through it, looking at a lot of the parallels from some of the other stuff that I've seen through my family, specifically talking way back when I was, this all started with Leopold, when I found the information about him working on the movie Haxan with information from his grandfather's trunk. His grandfather is Harold. Um, I think that the storyline from Haxan is basically something of an adaptation, not just of the Malleus Maleficarum, but with information that Harold learned from Bridget. I'll go into why. I'm going to show you a clip real quick from the movie and explain what it's about again. So Haxan Witchcraft Through the Ages, it does include a lot of really satanic, demonic imagery and themes, but really the story, what it is trying to portray and teach is that the people who were persecuted in these witch trials, the vast majority, if not all of them, were innocent, or even more than that, helpful medicine women, maybe practitioners of, some kind of good magic, or they just, maybe some of them had mental illness, or, we talk about things like mold from bread. But the point being that these are misunderstood, persecuted people, mostly women, and that the church was mistaken in their persecution of them. Going into a lot of those specifics really goes right back to what I have about Bridget with Harold in the journal, and I'll talk about that. It's really almost a perfect parallel because Harold talks about how he was raised in this order basically to believe that all of these kind of people were satanic, Luciferian, the witches were evil, working with the devil, with demons, all that kind of stuff. But through his own experiences, both with supposed witches or evil witches and with the church and the Sons of Man order themselves, he kind of became disenfranchised with them, also realizing that a lot of these people, these women, were good. And it's funny, in his journal, basically after he broke her out from the church's imprisonment, Bridget, they went after, he refers to them as satanic cultists after this. He was calling them witches before, but after his time with Bridget, he refers to them as satanic cultists, which I think is pretty telling. Really see a lot of these ideas flowing right into the writing he did with for Hackson, which is on YouTube and HBO Max, by the way, if you do want to watch it. Okay, so this big ass shelf just fell. It was up here, just fell on its own, and as you can see, it caused a huge mess. But it made me think to look back behind this dresser thing, which I had not done before, and I found this. So this folder does look like it belonged to Leopold, my great-grandfather. For those of you who maybe haven't seen all the videos or if it's a little confusing, Leo, he was the last one in the family who was involved in this kind of monster hunter stuff. He was active here in the United States at least from the 1920s through the 70s, I think, and possibly as something of a consultant after that. This folder, I'll go through it a little bit, but it's basically from around the 50s, it seems, and it does talk about, you remember the news article I showed a while ago, it seems like he was dealing with something kind of like a skinwalker. I know those are not native to Florida, but he even remarks that it is not actually a skinwalker, because it's not Navajo, but it's something similar. Okay, here it is. He has his name here. It says Leo F12. I assume that means file 12, and it says SW. Maybe that means skinwalker. I don't know. Here, this is the first note. He talks about some of the forms that it's taken. He says wolf, man, eagle, gator, panther, unknown. There's other papers in here talking about things, people describing their sightings, all kinds of stuff. His notes, his ideas. He even goes into where this stuff was located, where they were dealing with it. But I'm not going to give that out publicly at the moment. All right, now this is maybe where I do something a little stupid. I'm talking about a lot of crazy things on here. I've seen some things, but some of this other stuff is still a little bit out there. He talks about this area where they dealt with these things. He also, the way he talks about it, seems to think that they maybe didn't finish the job. I'm really thinking about going to this place and just kind of checking it out. You know, obviously with my girls here, they'll be good and taken care of. I'll go by myself. I really kind of want to do that. You guys know how curious I am, so we'll see what happens here in the next couple days. All right, another thing you guys ask about a lot is this old platform thing that's out here in the back, about like trying to find out what's underneath it. And like really my only options, I think, is like chopping this thing to pieces from the top. You know, I'm going to put this down there to look. I can't even really see. Just trying to get an idea. You know, and other than that, I can just kind of give you a better look at it. Try to see what we can see. See, it's weird. Doesn't look like it ever had walls or anything, just like a deck kind of, but it's like way far from the pool, so it does not really make sense. It is right next to this crazy tree that I've shown a few times though. There's like a really super deteriorated stair thing there, so they did go on it. And like over here I showed a while ago, this is the other side, is like this is where it's super wild back here. Like the fence is a good 20-30 feet back from here, but it's just like completely overgrown like crazy, much more than any other part of the yard. So I don't understand that. There's some more kind of wild trees. And like over there in the corner you can see is that crazy tree we've looked at before. Supposed fairy tree. About that other like stone altar thing out here, a lot of you guys have pointed out that that could be like some kind of old waterfall, and you know, when you mentioned that, yeah, that definitely could be. So whether that's something weird or not, I'm not even going to really talk about it anymore, because you know, like I've said, I know I'm getting into crazy stuff now, but I was a skeptic before, and you know, if something can be debunked and it has a more logical explanation, I'm always more than willing to go with that. So I don't know what's up with this weird platform thing, so you know, if you have a good explanation for that, lay it on me. Okay, I'm back here with Megan the Medium. I know a lot of you guys have really been waiting for this, and just like last time, I'm going to have to break it up into multiple videos. I'm going to try to start sharing them as soon as possible, but I probably will not get them all out today, because we're probably going to do even more today than we did last time, and, you know, posting on TikTok can be a son of a bitch sometimes, so here we go. Hello, Megan.
Hey guys.
We really appreciate you coming out again. I did ask her to bring her purse. Can you grab that? A lot of you guys really loved her purse. I thought you'd like a closer look at it.
So this is from Vindola, London. It's like a fortune teller bag. There's like a crystal ball. And
nice.
the best part, there's a little matching wallet.
Okay. All right. So there you guys go.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the reason that I've had you come out, more things have happened. I've found a lot more information about the stuff in the house and the history of my family. And, you know, as I told you last time, I post these online, and my followers were really interested in what you might be able to figure out for us.
Yeah, I've been following along kind of at home, you know, with your videos.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I'm really excited to be back. It was draining, but this is such a unique experience, what you kind of have going on here. So I'm really interested to kind of see what I can learn.
All right, I have us here on the patio today. You know, I've moved some things from the trunk. I just wanted to give more space. I know that last time the things affected you. I was hoping, you know, that more space would make things a little clearer. It wouldn't be dampening you as much. Are you noticing anything like that?
I think the space is definitely helping. Everything feels more open, but also it's like that. There's something else that's kind of like dialing down whatever is going on here, and it's like helping me to break through a little more, if that makes sense.
Okay. That sounds like a pretty active kind of thing. Do you have any idea what would be doing that? Like, can you sense that at all?
I think it's Harold. I've been following along with your videos at home. Harold is the older spirit that I sensed the last time I was here. Whatever is going on here in the house, he seems to have a relationship with it, and he seems to be able to control it to a certain extent.
Okay. So this might be what people are most excited for.
Yeah.
I think you know who this is.
Frogette.
That is Frogette.
Mhm.
You know, some of my followers still think that she is a demon. I do not. She was not here last time you were here. She was hidden. So why don't you go ahead and take her? See if you can get a reading on her.
Get her over here, saddle.
Okay.
So, she's not a demon. When she was alive, her name was Lynette, and she was from around the 1850s, 1860s. Harold was supposed to destroy her, but he secretly kept her, and she's been in your family for over like 150 years. She considers herself a member of your family. She actually really appreciated when Sallow patched her up recently. Her previous little doll body deteriorated due to age, and so since they were already calling her Frogette, they just stuck her in another little doll, another little frog doll body. But you know, she's just a sweet little girl.
Okay, so I want to answer a question, a debate between me and Sallow. She thinks that she was not supposed to have another eye, that the hat is covering it. I think she is supposed to have another eye that's missing. What's the story?
Yeah. She has another eye.
Mm-hmm.
It's somewhere in the house, but I'm not sure where.
Okay. One last thing about her. Does this is my curiosity? Does she actually like walk around the house like Chucky or something, or is like there's some other way that she's getting around?
No, she doesn't walk around the house. She can move a little bit. She'll be in like one place and then suddenly she'll be in another. I don't really want to say it, but it's almost like she's teleporting.
Okay. Another thing a lot of my followers are really curious about is that platform in the backyard. They're wondering if maybe you could find out what it was for.
They're telling me that it was part of like an initial agreement to set up like a platform like structure by the tree. The fair folk use it for something, but they're not sure what.
Okay. So the number one thing people on my channel ask about is this situation with this girl Jessica. I know you said you watched the video, so you know a little bit. My mother's friend. Is there anything from how you can read the house now? Maybe my grandmother that could give us some information about that.
As you know, your mom and Jessica were really close, but your grandmother also was very close with Jessica. She thought of her as like another daughter. What I'm getting is that Jessica was taken by some just evil, bad people that dabbled in black magic. They can call down upon other people like negative energy and bad entities, and whatever they did, Jessica is gone. She's dead, and your grandmother knew that her father had information on these people, but they could hurt you without even being in the same room that you're in. It's very, very dangerous to look into these people. And to protect her children and her grandchildren, your grandmother just kind of shut it down and didn't let them look into it at all. And it was one of the hardest decisions that she ever made, but it was the only way to protect her family.
So, is my grandmother like here right now telling you all this?
There's times where it definitely works like that. Right now, it's more like I'm feeling her feelings and like kind of thinking her thoughts.
Does she know, or do you know if these people are still around? Is this is this something that I maybe shouldn't even be looking into?
She knows what I've already told you. I don't know anything about these people. And what I'm getting is that I would just let it be.
All right, so you have already made a connection with my grandmother. You also mentioned that you can sometimes communicate just talking with the spirits. I'm really curious about Harold. Is there any way you could try to do either of those things with him?
When spirits have been dead longer than they've been alive, it's already strange. But there's just something else, something that's unique about him. It feels powerful, kind of intimidating. I'm actually a little apprehensive to connect with him. But I am getting that he's like the guardian of your family, which is strange because in life he didn't really have much of a family. I think what you said in your video was true. He didn't know his son in life.
Now, this might be a little bit more difficult on Harold, so on you as well. But I'm curious about when he lost the paladin abilities, when those children were lost. Is there anything you can tell me about that?
Well, you already know the story. When he lost those children, when the children died, he lost his faith, and without his pure faith, he couldn't access his paladin abilities.
Did he ever get them back? Was that for the rest of his life he couldn't do it?
I don't really have a clear answer on that.
Can you tell me anything about what happened with him and the Sons of Man in Africa?
He was sent into Catholic missions to find and train potential paladins, and then they were sent on suicide missions. He didn't know about that until after the fact. But that was the first, kind of major blow to his faith.
Something whistles back. Okay, I am going down an access road through the forest out here. It goes right by where my great-grandfather wrote about dealing with, what sounded like skinwalkers. So I'm heading out that way. I will not get out of the car. Like I said, this road goes right by it. So even though I am alone, I'm staying in the car, so I feel like because of that, I should be pretty okay. Alright, I stopped because I heard a really weird sound, almost like an owl, but a little bit higher pitched, but kind of booming, so I'm just trying to see if I can see anything. So it is pretty friggin' beautiful out here. All that dark stuff aside, I stopped here because I can see a good bit down both sides of the road if anybody's coming. It's more forested back here. Should I whistle? I know you guys always say we shouldn't whistle. Especially given what I've heard about the stuff here. I think I'm gonna do it. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh. Get out of here. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. I don't know. That was either a person that's out here, which is scary enough, or something even worse. And I feel pretty stupid right now, but I've made those kind of mistakes a couple times, it seems. So I'll try to be more careful. You can see I'm driving out now. It's kind of like a dirt road through the middle of nowhere forest, like this for a little bit more of a ways. I got my phone and this thing that holds it. So TikTok, I'm not driving while recording, while I'm holding it or anything like that, so you don't have to, whatever. I'm ready to get out of here, and it's getting dark.